How to see if ChatGPT is recommending you in 2026. So AI search has drastically increased now. ChatGPT itself gets 2.5 billion prompts every single day, and that's from the official OpenAI documents, what they released, which is 900 million people every single week using ChatGPT alone. AI search traffic has grown 520% in a single year, according to the report at the bottom there. And 1 in every 5 searches is now done with AI. AI search traffic also converts 5 times better than Google, according to SuperPrompt, where they studied 347 different companies and found this out off the data. I found it as well with my sites and with people I've worked with that ChatGPT or AI in general converts a lot better because it's a source of truth. If AI has recommended your brand, they've obviously done a lot of the work in computation to find out your brand is the best fit. And generally, if someone clicks through the link and goes to your website from that, it's more or less guaranteed a conversion is very, very high, especially compared to ads or not intent-based marketing, but even compared to Google, it converts a ton better. So, according to a study here, I'm not too sure how true this is, but it is 30 times harder to rank in AI than it is Google. I'm going to show you some methods in this video to make it a lot easier. We found a few methods which can get you featured in AI a lot easier than what it would be with Google, as long as you're doing the right things. So 3 things AI does with your brand. It can either recommend you, which is great. It can cite you as a source, but not actually recommend you in the content, or ignore you altogether, which is not what we want. When you are checking this, what you want to be doing is checking if you are actually featured in these AI search engines, but it takes a long time if you want to do it manually. Say if you got 50 questions and you're testing 4 different models, that's 200 checks a day if you're doing it by hand. And generally you want to redo it daily or weekly because AI answers do change. I'm going to go over some reasons why. But basically, the reason you want to do this is because the citations change, and it's very, very important to note these citations down and keep track of it because you want to copy and replicate what these citations are getting picked up in AI to get your brand featured. And basically, that's the way how you can get in AI very, very quickly. So you can do this with a spreadsheet. So what we like to do is list all like the money keywords. So best like tool, best X for Y, your brand versus competitors, or even just 2 competitor brands. Best like free, cheapest, best premium, luxury, all these sort of keywords. And then you can map it in a spreadsheet for like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, and see if you cited and doing it manually, take down all the citations. No one wants to do this. Not many people do it. You can do it for free, but it's going to take a lot of time. The thing is, answers change daily, like I said. So if you do it on Friday, by Monday, what you got before could have changed, and you want to take note of what's changed as well. With AI citations as well, so 44% of ChatGPT citations are best X listicles. So the roundup posts are generally getting featured in AI a lot. So let me show you a way now so you don't have to do this manually. You can do it cheap by yourself. So this is a tool me and my friend own at AnswerSocrates.com. It is a keyword research tool, so you can do all this stuff, but we also have LLM tracking built in here. We've recently upgraded this and changed it all to make it more affordable and basically show you all the data what you need to know. So we've got the dashboard here. It will show you your total scans, your total mentions, share of voice, your best rank, what platforms you're actually mentioned by. Currently we're tracking 6 platforms here. And it will tell you the competitors in there, a trend graph, and all the good sort of information here. All the competitors, your top sources, and the domain type as well there, which is very interesting and nice to have. This is the overall dashboard, but what you can do is jump into the prompts, and this will show you a list of all the prompts here, and then a high-level overview of here. So answer the public alternative. We're currently ranked 6 out of all the 6 models we've tested, 50% share of voice, and an average position of 5.3, and the total citations here, and it will also show you the little top competitors. You can change this as well, so if you want to just do a rescan, you can rescan it straight away. You can set the frequency of how often you want to do this rescan, And then you can jump in to the actual scan itself and get all the information on the actual scan. It looks very similar to the dashboard, but the dashboard is the overall high level, combining every single prompt you do. So we've got all the information here. You can dive in and see the competitors, see what platforms are actually mentioned in them, and dive through and see all the information there. But one of the most important use cases, which I went through before, is the sources. So with the sources, you can see we've only got one prompt here in this example dash, but you can filter by the keywords you've got there, so you can get the individual sources or overall grouped sources. And you can change by locations, because when you do a new scan here, you can scan for whatever you want. Pick the location, because location is very important with LLMs as well. So like if someone in the US will get a different result from someone in Australia a lot of the time. So location is important to change as well. And then we got all the different models we are currently scanning. So ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, and Grok. With the citations as well, so we got the list here. We even got our own blog appearing there. But what you want to do, I think I'm going to touch on it in the next one, is basically take a note of these citations. What you can do is just export it here. It will go straight to your export list, and then you can go through it. And what you want to do is basically get your brand featured in these websites here, because this is what's getting picked up by AI as a citation. So if you outreach them, get your website featured in as many of these posts as possible, you're more likely to improve your ranking in the LLMs, get featured in more results, because these are the sources of truth, which is AI is using to pull the results and say who is the best for whatever the prompt you are searching for. Cool, so let me show you a few tips now. So we've gone through the demo, very, very quick and easy to basically sort through and go through. That's how kind of the LLM trackers work. So with the citations you found, you want to export and organize like I covered before. The listicles are generally the easiest target and the fastest win, because they're just roundup posts. So you can make a list, find all the listicles and outreach them and try and get your brand featured. Generally, it doesn't matter as much your position in the listicles. Obviously, the higher up, the better. But just getting featured on these listicles as a segmented user, so maybe the best affordable LLM tracker we would try and go for if it's not at the top. And that would get picked up in the AI searches. And it doesn't have to be at the top, because your list is like the most affordable, and that will kind of always get picked up. So it's not the worst case scenario, not getting listed at the top or the top two. As long as you got a segmentation, it's a nice little hack to basically help you get featured and categorize your website or brand or software or even local kind of service. So review sites is another big one, which I'll cover a bit more. And Reddit is really, really good. Let me see. So I didn't cover Reddit. So I love Reddit. It used to work really well, and it still works really well. Everyone says Reddit is the most cited source, which is true, but it's not really the most cited source for individual like brand terms. So you'll find Reddit overall gets featured in pretty much every citation, so it's always at the top. But for most of your searches, you will not find Reddit at the top or featured at the most of the time. It's generally these niche tailored websites and listicles for that specific keyword. So an outreach email. So when you find these listicles, outreach changes all the time. You can alter this and change it around, but this is an example of what you can use. Basically, it's an exchange of value. No one's really going to add your name to a listicle, take time out of their day, edit their post, edit their site, which they've took maybe years or months or whatever to build. They spent a lot of time, spent money on content, backlinks, and SEO. They're not going to do it for free. It's kind of a waste of time. So you need to position it as an exchange of value, and that's the best way to kind of get featured. So hi name, generally you want it personalized. You would definitely want to try and find their name if possible. Found your article and it's generally useful. One gap, so we want to try and improve it. You've got A and B. This just shows that you've taken the time to actually look through the article and find a gap in it, but nothing on, say, the best affordable LLMs. So we want to try and do that angle, that segmentation. So we do this here. Sorry. And we do XYZ. So we're the most affordable. happy to send you a free account. We would love to get featured. Great list either way. So it just ends it nice and chill, nice and easy. We're offering them a free account to try it. So you can offer a free account. You can offer them social posts and email blasts saying they're being featured. Generally, most of the time, it's going to be an exchange of money because money at the end of the day is a source of value. So generally, a lot of these people are going to want money, but there is ways to get around this with free accounts or shout outs and stuff like that, or even a link swap. So AI reads everywhere you appear, just like Google. It just reads the search and it pulls in all this information. So as many different places you are featured, the better it is for your website, especially if it's saying the same sort of thing online. You're going to get picked up, and it's more places to get featured, and you're going to get picked up in AI, and it future-proofs you as well. So basically, if you get featured on, I don't know, let's say G2 and Product Hunt and all that, maybe that's not getting picked up now, but maybe in a few months that's going to be heavily weighted and that's going to get picked up more, and you're already featured there. So you kind of future-proofing yourself, and it's a thing you should be doing anyway for SEO. So it's very similar to AI SEO and just normal SEO. So two foundations which you want to do. So have all your social profiles for your brand. So YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, company profiles, your Facebook pages, have as much information and these social UGC sites as possible. There's actually hundreds of different social sites, which no one really talks about so much, but as many as you can kind of get, Blue Sky, everything like that. You want a very similar description and your company name the same every time. Just like with local SEO, there's NAP, name, address, phone number. You want that consistent on every single web page, otherwise Google and AI gets confused. Same with these social profiles and other profiles. So foundational links as well, which is directories and citations, which are kind of covered before, like G2, Yelp. There's very niche specific ones, so it depends what industry you're in to get listed. So obviously, if you're a local electrician, you're not really going to get featured on Product Hunt and all those sort of sites. It doesn't really work. So you want the niche relevant citations and directories. So 67% of AI citations come down to the sources that you don't own. So that basically means it is most of the citations which are going to feature you is not actually from your website. You still want your website built up. You want your about page and as much information and blog content as possible. But a lot of the citations are actually going to come from external sources, because basically if you have a website and you say you're the best XYZ, is very, very biased to trust that your website is the best because you're saying you're the best at the top of the list or out of everyone. A cool little tool which I actually built, which might help you out with this, is onlytraction.com, which basically has a massive list of high authority directories, citations, and you can build a lot of them on autopilot, so you don't have to manually go through and do this. Currently, we have 35, but I have just increased it to around 50 now. So this is the website Only Traction here. So we got 1,500 plus directories there, 35 auto submit. So time you watch this, it's probably going to be a lot higher. And it's not just a directory submission database. It actually helps you with the marketing, with picking your channel and having active tactics and using AI. So you can check that out, but that basically helps you with your directories there. Some free mistakes which I've found, we kind of covered a few, but let me go over it so it's nice and clear. So only optimizing your own website, you need to make sure you are featured on different websites and sources of truth. And the best way to do that is to check the citations which are being picked up in AI for the prompts and keywords you want to be ranking for. So they're the main targets, they're the highest value and leverage you can actually do. When you are doing adding content to your website or adding it to other people's websites, you don't want generic content. You want information gain, which is basically just adding something new to the article, which can be done with the segmentation, which I said. Maybe you're the best electrician in Sydney, but you mainly focus on commercial electrics, or you focus on, like, I don't know, kitchen installation and sockets and power. So you want to kind of segment as much as possible, and that helps you get picked up as well as adds new information to the content. Another mistake as well is setting and forgetting. So no changes or no improvements and no trying to get extra listings or updating your own content, because the more of a snowball you do, it shows you're active and you're a company online, so you're going to get picked up more. One of the weird ones of ChatGPT, like a number one driver of recommendations, is actually YouTube. So this video will hopefully get picked up, and it'll get picked up as Answer Socrates mention in the SERP. ChatGPT was actually trained on 1 million hours of YouTube videos. It gets picked up a lot, and as we come with more AI content and using AI for pretty much everything, YouTube is like a differentiator because it's a video. Not many people are doing AI videos and they don't get picked up as much. So these sort of videos get picked up as a source of truth because AI is very easy to get the transcripts, pull that information in, and use that as a recommendation for AI. So a bit more about Answer Socrates. So I covered a few things. It's not just an AI tracker. It does a lot of keyword research and all that data, so you kind of get that on top. It is one of the most affordable LLM trackers out there. So this is the pricing. So we got three different plans currently. We're going to add another bigger plan for those people who want to use it a lot more. But for $15 a month, you get 50 LLM credits as well as a lot of other things. You can check the pricing down below. And then Seneca and Aurelius, 500 LLM searches and 200 LLM searches, which is a lot more than these enterprise VC-backed LLM trackers, which basically offer you, is basically double the price and half the amount of searches which you get from it. So that is the end of the video. I just wanted to quickly show you, cover some pro points, basically how to get featured, some mistakes to avoid, and some cheap ways to basically use the LLM tracker and give you a bit of insight of kind of how it works. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and leave a comment if you have any questions about this, and I'll get back to you. Cheers.